Welcome back to Career Build Series. This is episode number 90. And so I think what we're going to do in this episode is I've been trying to work on some stuff to do some more mineral trading, and I've been working on some skips, some small dumpsters to work with that. And I'm currently in the testing phase, and I've tried already kind of bringing them in to try to do some testing and make some videos on them. I think what I'm going to do is test them off screen and really get them fine-tuned so when they get in the Career Build Series, they're up and working. You know, I did a live stream yesterday where I worked on a bunch of this stuff, so that worked out well. And so if you want to see that, you can watch that. That's from yesterday. I think what we're going to do today is we made some good money with selling the jet fuel. Last episode took out the new high-speed container ship. It's a multi-purpose ship. It has two cranes, so it can self-load vehicles from the shore or from a dock. It can even manage the incredibly, insanely oversized, overheight docks that we have in game that are like, you know, 5 meters tall, which is silly. Um, but it can still work on those. And so it took a container full of jet fuel up to the military island, sold that. And so let's go ahead and look at the money situation here. So we have 258,000, and that's with nothing spawned in the world except the oil rig. All right. And so the plan is this: we're at FJ. We're in the train hangar here. And so I think we'll do some train content. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the locomotive, or I'll probably do multiple locomotives with my well cars. Well cars are, as the name implies, they have a well. It's a dugout area, and this allows you to double stack containers, so I can put quite a few containers. And what I want to do is we'll take the train, we'll bring it in here by the containers. I'll grab my container shifter, which will work with the well cars. Built that last career build series. And then what we'll do is we'll probably head up to what I'm thinking is North Harbor. If we go up to North Harbor, we can then launch the same container shifter and unload the train and then reload the train. So I think that's what we'll do. So let's go ahead and get moving on this. And so let's go to Locomotive. All right, this is my Soviet diesel locomotive here. And I'm just checking the date. Okay, that looks right. I fixed it recently. So let's grab this and let's grab a duplicate of it. And let's take two locomotives up. All right. And we'll start with that. And I'll get these coupled, and then we'll start with grabbing some well cars. So I'm going to actually go down towards the water here so that... go down towards the water here, and that way I can put the well cars behind me instead of pushing them. So let's go ahead, turn on. We have interlink is now on. All right, I want to back into that other locomotive. Theoretically. Okay, interlink. I forget how I set that up, so I think I need the other one on interlink. All right, let's see if this is connected. We are. Okay, so I think I have to put the back one on interlink. I haven't worked on these since the last career build series, so I think... There we go. And so as you can see, it auto starts this. And so I call it the interlink. These are interlinked. And so you turn this interlink on and it mimics whatever the front one does. And so my lead locomotive, again, that's my preferred term, is my lead locomotive and my, I usually will call it a kite because that's what you do with trailers is lead is the front, kite is the rear. And so this one is now controlling both of them. And so we're just going to pull up. Oh, I fell off. Oh, no. It's going for the water. So we're going to go ahead, pull up here. I'm going to launch a couple well cars. I don't know how many are... I'm actually going to expedite this process. I don't want to bore you guys with me walking around at normal speed. I will use a little no clip here. Try and do less of it when, especially thematically, it doesn't make sense, when it's a little bit cheaty. And so we're just going to pull up here, and I'll hit the brake. We could also go to Komodo. That's also a possibility. So let's go ahead and I'm actually going to no clip over here. And I want to see how many of these suckers I have because I don't want to put together 900 cars and not need them. There's BVG. There is Komodo's a 9. So I'm just going to do a quick count here. And that will get us set up. So we have Komodo, Spy, North. And so I'm just doing all the places where I can spawn in something to unload the train cars and load them. and also the train itself. So there's urine freight. Urine freight is C only, so I can't do that. So Komodo, let's see, 1. All right, I'm just going to count these off. This BVG. BVG is another one we could do. 20 grand. It's a trip up there, and I'm not ready for that. Ooh, that's a cash cow right there. Sawyer North is 1. And so as long as we can get enough, I didn't check the times here. What's the time? 106 minutes. I don't need to get them precise, but 18 minutes, so that's a no. Anyways, that's urine anyways. I don't care about that. Komodo, that's 76 minutes. That will be within our time frame. BVG. The BVGs are profitable. Wouldn't be bad to take a trip up there. JSI is land only or sea. Land or sea. At Sawyer North, there's a second one for north. I just want to see how many cars I need here. There's another north. All right. So we're actually looking pretty good on north here. BVG has a ton. It would be nice to do a run to BVG. So we're already up to 4 Sawyer North. There's a lot of BVG. Especially this is the longest distance. There's a Komodo. There's 2 for Komodo. That's 11 minutes, so that one's not going to work. That one's going to expire too soon. Komodo, there's one that's actually reasonable. There's 2 for Komodo. Spy cakes. That's a good price for spy cakes. There's 1 for spy. BVG, lots and lots of BVG, I'm telling you. There's another north. Okay, so we have 5 north. So we're doing pretty well here for north. That's, see you later. That's a south. We're not going to south. That's a spy cakes. That's 2 for the cake. All right, so we have 5 for Sawyer North. So let's plan on just doing the 5 for Sawyer North. I think that's what we'll do. Okay, so let's go ahead. The well car should hold 4. And so that's 1 car holds 4. And so that's the benefit of the well car. You know, when I go down to the rail, these are some of the cars that get loaded in there. So here is... All right, so where's the well car? So here's a well car right here. And as you can see, so these can, the reason why they're called well again is, as you see, they have this deep well in here. And so you have a couple types. One, you have a flatbed that the bed tends to be over these trucks, and it goes over it like that. And because it's raised up, you can't double stack them or you'll never fit under the bridges, IRL and in here. And so this is actually painted to be like the real well cars that I'm used to. And with the well cars, as you can see, the well itself is aft of the trucks, and that allows it to be very low, and you can double stack them. So we have a couple well cars here. Those should be connected. They are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get getting. So a bunch of, you know, flying around here just because I do not want to miss this. Got scared for a second. That light came on. I thought I was on fire somehow. All right, we should hit these, and as soon as we couple, it should take the brakes off. So they work realistic. IRL, you would hook up a pneumatic cable to it, or hose rather. All right, good. So those should be good. I might have to. Did I put a switch on this or something? Nope, we're rolling now. Just took a while to take up the mass of it. Try not to get run over by the train. I need to put a handle on here. I should put it right next to the door. But I'll end up clipping in here if I can't get up naturally. I know this is exciting, entertaining work to jump up like an idiot. But, alright, so we're backing it up. Let's get moving a little bit faster. This is probably a reasonable speed to be shunting, but, Alright, so we're going to go up and I'm going to move this over there, and then I'm going to grab the container shifter. The container shifter is a large forklift that can hold 2 at a time, and that makes for much faster loading. The shifter is a little bit quicker loading because of that. The ship loader, which I made last career build series as well, that one It can also handle 2, but it's a little bit slower, and so the shifter for this particular application is better. The ship loader is, as the name would suggest, good for loading ships, so. Alright, so I screwed this up already, okay. I didn't realize that was the switch that I have to go to. I don't do much train stuff, so I wasn't sure. So, track switcher, you didn't switch, why didn't you switch? You didn't switch, why didn't you switch? Am I gonna have to manually switch you? I probably will. Alright, we're gonna have to manually switch that, it doesn't want to switch it. This could be, I bet I know why. I bet Alright, let's go ahead and back the well cars up just a hair and stop. Okay, I'm having an issue here. Alright, that's better. Now, can I do have a hope and a dream and a prayer to get on this frickin' thing? There we go. That actually wasn't that hard. Alright, so we're on now. Hopefully we don't have any more of these annoying issues here. I want to get this loaded up. So I didn't even bother with the track switcher on that one. I just wanted to screw it up. Alright, so let's start slowing down here. So we'll set down to like 3 meters per second or something. I just want to get on the fattest section of these containers. I'm getting rid of the weather. Weather's just been deteriorating, and it's been like rain, 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 rain. I'm just kind of sick of it, so we'll go bright, sunshiny day here. Makes it a little easier to record as well. Alright, start back in there, dude. I don't have to drive too far with it, so. Alright. And I'm just going to kill the power to save a little bit of, kill the power there just to save a little bit of diesel. Alright, let's get getting here. Alright, here's the container shifter. This is on the workshop. You can just, oof, 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 brutal, brutal, brutal. I forgot it was up high. Alright. And hopefully I remember how to work this sucker. Alright, here we go. I shift from here. And this has a really nice low gearbox. Again, one of the benefits of having a low gearbox is it's simple math. It makes it so that the vehicle cannot go too fast. And especially when you're doing precision maneuvers where you're trying to put it exactly where you want on either the back of a truck or the back of a train car, you don't want to be moving too fast. And so that's why it's advantageous to have your lowest gear very, very low. You hear how loud the engine is revving? This still allows me to travel very slow. If I jump out of my seat, it automatically parking brakes. This one's nice and has some features like that. Let's see. BBG. This one is Komodo. Urine. Sawyer North. Here's one to go. BBG. And so one thing I tend to do is I'm going to leave the bottoms off. I don't want to screw with the bottoms right now. So there is north. Here's a north right here. Okay. So this one will do duals there. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll grab that. So I'm going to expand the carriage. So the nice thing with this is this one is set up so that it can fit in the train hangers. That's why I extend the booms out like this. So as you can see, I'm in 5th gear, so this is, I think, my highest gear. And so I move fast and jumpy with this, and that's what you should expect from a high gear. And so what I want to do is I want to switch this out to a lower gear here. And so I think we're doing Scrap Oceanic. The light should be on to tell me. I'm going to just jump to double check. I've probably already forgot. Nope, it's the other one, the other Scrap Oceanic. It's this one. Okay, already screwed up. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and we will reverse. All right, make sure these are extended. They are. Okay, good. And as you can see, I have a camera on the outside that will also shoot out. And so it allows me to... screwing up because my... normally I do up and down shift with the up-down arrows. This one, it actually controls the boom. So what we're going to use is we're going to use the mass of this sucker to turn these containers. So we have a little bit of a tight area here. It's not a big deal because I can use this to slide these. So I have the engine pegged here at you know, max, and you notice how slow we're moving. That is very much on purpose. This will do 3 miles an hour in lowest gear, and the purpose for that is I can very precisely control this. And again, that's the importance of proper gearing. You know, most people, their experiences with cars, and because they are not used to, you know, large pieces of equipment, you know, trucks, construction equipment, stuff like that, these industrial machines, they don't understand that a big part of the reason why you have that very low gearing is not only for torque, but it helps you control your speed. And so I know that the fastest I'm ever going to go is 3. It makes it really easy for me to, for example, like I'm just gently tapping it up. I can floor it. I'm going to floor it. And you notice how I'm still moving nice and controlled and slow. And this allows me to actually get this container on the first try instead of having to do like 28 pull-ups. And so it actually is a lot quicker to be slower. As you can see, we got it on the first try there, very easy, because I was going slow. So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of an advocate sometimes of having a proper transmission and taking your time. Is it actually will save you time. You know, this is something we'll, you know, tell you know, people when we're helping them with learning tractor trailer stuff is, you know, new guys will try to rush it. They'll try to get it on door really quick and they'll get embarrassed, and you'll see them and they'll do 20, they'll try to get it on door 20 times and they get so flustered that it's a problem. And then you'll see somebody who's experienced and they'll take their time, and it might take, you know, a little bit of extra time, but they get it in one try. So it actually is quicker to do it slow than it is to try to go super duper fast. And so that's often the way of it is take your time. You know, this thing maneuvers very slowly if I put it in first or reverse, and that allows me to have very predictable speed. Again, I can push down the W key as hard and as much as I want, and it will never go over 3 miles an hour because it's basic math. It's the engine RPS, you know, multiplied through the gears, and it's never going to go faster than that. And so it gives me predictability. All right, so we're just going to bump up to this here. And so if you look, I can actually look over that, and I can see the corner of it. So let's go up. And this thing is probably one of my heaviest creations because it needs to be able to effectively handle containers. And so, again, here we are in first gear, floored. Only going to do 3. I'm going to upshift, and as you can see, now we can get a little bit faster. We're only going to be able to do about 6. Upshift. And now we'll be able to do probably, you know, maybe 9, something like that. 7, 8, maybe 9. All right, so I'm just going to look over it like this. All right, so one thing is I definitely do not want my bottom connectors on because I don't want this slamming into position. I need to be very careful. So I can use my camera. As you can see, this shows me the rightmost corner of this. I actually think I might not be able to double stack these well cars. I'm not sure. Looking like I thought I could double stack a well car. Maybe I can't. That's fine if I can't. And so I can look over the corner here, and then if you see this one's the camera on top, so I don't need to look in front of me. I can just look like this, and I can see where I'm going. I thought this was able to go above the well car. Let's see. I might not have made it tall enough. I can't tell yet. It's looking like it's too short. It's not by much, but it's looking too short. But yeah, not by much. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit too short. That's fine. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to back it up. Let's go back. Just back it up just a hair. So as you can see, I went full throttle, and it gave me a nice, predictable, very short distance backwards. So I don't need to worry about that. That's kind of nice. All right, jump out of my seat here. We're going to dump the bottom. All right. And I'll leave that energized. All right, and then I don't want this one to grab violently. That's one thing is, the connectors in game, they're nice that they're, you know, magnetized or whatever. The issue is that they're a little bit violent when they grab, and so it's often a good idea, a good policy to kind of get it close before you move it. Alright, so if you look at the well car themselves, you notice that it has these L brackets, and the L brackets tell me where the corners of the container need to be. And the center one tells me where the center of the container needs to be. And if you look, I have this center span. So what I try to do is line my center span of the shifter up with that. Now, I have rear steer on this, so I need to... I'm hanging to the right of it. Now I'm going to start to turn and get that centralized. But I'm going to lose it at some point, so I won't be able to see it. Now it's going to get obscured. And I'm going to look at the L brackets, and I'm going to make sure I don't see that white center one again. If I don't see the white center one, I'm pretty close. All right, and we'll start lowering it. And now I can get some depth perception. And I have to go forward. Maybe we're too far forward, I'm not sure. I think we have to go a little bit forward. All right, right there. And back just a little bit. All right, let's take a look. So I'm just pulling on the other side, which is kind of what I thought was going on. So again, if we had a gearbox that was set too high, it would be very frustrating where I would be moving too fast. So we're just gonna gently come down a little bit here because it will torque forward as I go. I'm in neutral. And I'm just going to keep a little down pressure on there. There we go. And I'm just going to wiggle it in and out until I get it where it needs to be here. Actually, I need to come a little bit to the left, so I'm probably there's a little bit of a lip on there. And so I'm going to see if I can't... I'm going to see if I can rock it in there. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so that is in now. And I'm going to detach it. All right. And I'm going to back straight up. As you can see, the camera changes automatically. And I'm going to jump out of my seat. That will throw the brakes on. Whoop, get out of there, you. All right, now what I want to do is... I'm going to leave that just sitting in the well car for now. Try to count. Let's keep loading for now, and then I'll set it up when we finally start going to double stacks. I try to make it so that they don't snap, because this is when they can go nuts. All right. So we're going to go back to reattach. So I'm just going to kind of, I won't walk you guys through this anymore. You've kind of seen it operate. And I'm just going to hit it really hard. And so it's still worthwhile grabbing two, because as you can see, I don't have to take the trip all the way back. I left it right here. So we're going to go a little bit faster here, and I'm just going to do it at max, kind of my max speed. So you see I'm in second gear. I'm a little bit faster, but I'm not insanely fast. Lining up with the center span on the center of the container. Grab the container, going up. I'm going to go ahead, click it in reverse. We'll get this lined up as I'm backing up. So you see I'm doing a bunch of things at once, raising the container. This is, you'll see this with a lot of professional equipment operators, is they can operate pretty quickly. They do multiple things at once. They move their boom. They're driving, they're doing all their alignments and everything, and it just makes it a lot quicker. So I'm obscuring it, come to the left just a little bit, we'll start going down. This helps with my depth perception as I get closer. And you come to the right a little bit, I'm probably way too far left. I am, okay. You see how I rushed that one, and it's going to take me longer because rushing, I misaligned the middle. Alright, so it's actually a little bit quicker if I just take my time. So we're going to go back into first. And now I can make smaller corrections. All right, and we'll start going down. And we just need to push forward a little bit of down pressure. And I'll just rock it a little bit here. There we go. Gives me a little bit of rocking space there, and probably back, and we'll probably have it. There we go. Nice. Now let's go all the way down. And I just need to go forward. So as you see, it will allow it to tip. It's a top grab. They have these IRL, this is what it's based off of, and they just top grab. So they only grab from the top, and it allows it to swing forward and back, as you can see. There we go, and that's in. All right, and let's get in reverse here, and let's go find another container. Alright, so we're going to go find our next container here. Alright, brakes automatically apply, which is a nice feature. That's expired, so we're looking for more. I think what we're going to do is just grab the... I don't want this to take forever, so we're just going to grab the norths. And we can always get something from north if we want to continue there. So here's another one, Sawyer North. I like 2 of these at once, so we have 5 Sawyer Norths. I counted them. There's another one. This one is 24 minutes. Ugh. That one's tight. We're going to take it anyway, because worst case, we lose it. So we have 2 on there. That's 4. Likely as we don't make it anyway, but just a little bit of unload time. I think these are all UPGs. Okay, let's get over here. I'm just going to teleport. Just no clip really quickly. Try to check them out. Spy cakes, urine, Komodo, expired. Sawyer North here. So these are tight, these 2 here. And so where is this one? I marked the sucker too. How did I lose it already? Or I yelling? Didn't know where it is, but I turned the connector on here, I thought, so that I could... Right there. Okay, spam, and then the other one. All right. So that's going to be 4. So the 24 is probably not... is going to probably time out, but we'll grab it anyway. I'm going to try to speed up my operation here and get going. So I'm going to leave this boom down a little bit because I need this left part here to slide the container around. I don't want to hit it ultra hard. I just want to turn it. All right, we're going to turn the container. All right. And so this is another reason I'm not a huge fan of automatic transmissions is I am selecting, again, a lot of people aren't considering that the reason why you're selecting your gear is to also limit your speed. You know, people think about cars, oh, I just want to go as fast as humanly possible at all times, and like I've kind of demonstrated, that's not the best method. Sometimes when you're doing precision work, you actually want to be kind of going slow. And so one of the benefits is, you know, by manually selecting what speed you want, you're also capping your speed out. So when I wanted to go slow, I was putting in first, and I was able to rev it up the entire time and never have to worry about going overly fast. So, like, I'm in first, it's floored, and I know that I'm not going to go over 3 miles an hour, so I know that I'm nice and, you know, I'm at a controlled speed here. All right, I'm going to go backwards just a little bit because I need to line them. As you can see, I can't see the black one underneath. Reverse could actually be a little bit slower. All right, good. Let's go ahead. I'm going to just jump out of the seat, leave the annoying buzzer on. That will snatch. All right, and we're good. We're going to go dump this next to train. Let's just go with, whoa, let's try not to hit the pink one. Let's just go with 4 for now. Because the 24 and the 37 are on the hairy edge of missing them. So let's go ahead and drop that down. Out. Alright. And so I'm going to attach these to the rail car before we go, but I don't want to do it too early. I don't want them trying to grab each other. I want them in position before I do that. That way they'll be less likely to try to do some foolish nonsense and grab. But these can be double stacked in the wells. So I might make the boom a little taller on this. It would be very efficient if I can double stack these. So for example, this one might accidentally try to grab the top of that one if the bottom was energized. So my bottom on this one is, as you can see, not energized. The top on this one is still energized, and so I want to, I kind of want to configure them all before I do that so that they're not trying to grab each other. Because that's when you get a big physics nightmare, and it's just frustration. All right, a little bit of pressure, and we'll probably back it up. There we go. It went right in. As soon as I went to neutral, actually, so let's go forward just a hair. This hangs from the top, as I was saying, and that's how they do in my IRL. And again, that allows me to pivot it pretty easily. So that's kind of why it does that, is for pivoting purposes. And as you can see, it makes it so much easier. If it was hard connected, where it went all the way across, it won't swing. And because it won't swing, it makes it a pain to get it to rest in the car. So it's actually better to do the top attach point. And there are real ones, like I said, that do this. A little bit fast on that one, but we lined it at the end. A little bit hooked. There we go. I need to go back. And I'm going to go boom up as I'm reversing. And I'm just looking for that center indicator there that tells me where I'm at. I'm going to go in first. And I want to get that central alignment indicator on that center post. And we're going to turn onto it now. And I'm just going to kind of favor it a little bit on the right. Get my depth perception. We'll start turning the back a little bit. And I'm going to just need to wiggle the car in. A little bit of down pressure. Alright, a little bit forward. So it probably needs to justify right a little bit. So I'm just kind of going right a little bit as I'm pushing it. There we go. And it's fallen in the well. Bingo. Now I just need to reverse probably a little bit. There we go. Get it up a little bit to get it to swing level. Watch how it levels out. Now we're going to lower it again. So as you can see, it's going to swing level when we lift it, and it's going to pull us in. And there we go. So nice. And I'm just going to take a little pressure off of it. All right, good. Let's go ahead and stay in reverse. We'll back it up. And I'm just going to grab a pick. I always forget to get a screenshot, and then it's like, oh my god, I don't have a screenshot for later. So, alright, good. Alright, and so let's go ahead, and I'm just going to, for the sake of expediting here, I need to make sure I don't screw this up. This is where we're at now. I kept it rolling so I could see it. Alright, and let's get rid of that. Alright, and I'm just going to no clip here. We're tight on time. So let's get these all adhered and going. So I want to go top off. And I might not be able to see the bottom here. This shouldn't fall out anyway, but I will try to adhere it if I can. All right, that's clicked now. And we'll go click on that one. They won't grab if I don't do the bottoms, but I'll see if I can find the bottom. If not, it's not a big deal. These shouldn't fall out. So, all right, not a big deal. I'm not going to worry about them. The well should hold it in there. The tops I definitely want connected, but we'll try them without running. All right, so let's run this train. I'm going to save it here. It's kind of a precautionary measure. All right, let's get going here. The track switcher, hopefully it's frickin' working, man. Because that's going to annoy me if it's not. Because I'm going to have to get out and do it every time. Alright, let's get getting here. So the nice thing is, as long as we get there before they expire, as long as we're close enough, they should accept. You know, and we'll get the money, and then we can pull the expired cans off of us. Alright, so routing-wise, let's go. I don't know if I've ever made this trip. So we're going to come down here on this track, and then we're going to back up, and then we're going to go on this track. We've been down here before by the oil deposit. We're going to go right and up and over the bridge. We're going to go way the hell up here. We're going to go straight, and then it goes through the mountains, and then we go on this track here, I think, up here, over here, and left into North Harbor. So it's cool to get into a train. You know, I haven't been on the trains in a while. Hopefully we're not going to blow up or anything. I have vehicle damage off. Again, you know, people have been... let's actually stop us here. You know, people have been complaining about still hitting spots that are blowing them up. What do I want? Do I actually want to go this direction? Let me see. Okay, track switch is working. Beautiful. So yeah, I think it was the two track switches are not talking together. So it's causing one to say, hey, don't switch, and one to say, hey, switch. And it's saying, okay, I'm doing nothing. You're giving me conflicting info. And so what I need to do is interlink the two switchers so that they're doing the same thing. Or one thing I could do is when I'm in third person, I can't get out. You know, all it will do is say, hey, when you know, we have multiple trains connected, it will just completely shut off the other switcher. All right. So it's going to wheel slip just to start, and then we should be good. This train doesn't wheel slip very much, which is nice. You know, I like trains, but, you know, I've talked about before how I like less automation. A train is kind of the, not ultimate automation thing, but like right now, here I am sitting. I have my set speed in there. It's going to stay on the tracks. I don't have to steer. And that, I lose a lot of the engagement that keeps me entertained. You know, I like to have a very involved system. Like, you see a lot of builds where it'll be like, it automatically picks up the container, loads it on the train, and you do nothing. Yay, I'm a wonderful engineering genius, and that's cool if that's what you enjoy. But for me, I enjoy being the guy who's operating the crane. I don't enjoy just, you know, pushing a button and watching it. I don't want to watch it work. I want to make it work. And I just went on the wrong frickin' track, so hopefully we can get back on the right frickin' track, because I'm going to get annoyed here. I think there's dual switchers up here. I really frickin' hope so, man. Now I'm on this right track. This is going to be obnoxious if I am on the wrong track. You know, as you can see, I'm not all that used to the train stuff, and that will get me starting to be a little bit frustrating just because I'm not used to it. So it's, I think there are duals on here. I think I can swap tracks back here somewhere. Yeah, you see this dual switcher, so I think I can get back. I don't think I need to get back on that track. I actually want to stay on that right track. So actually, I think we're doing all right. Because get on that right track to go right over the bridge. I've never made this trip. You know, like I said, I think Industrial Frontier was a good DLC in the sense that it added good features, but they didn't execute it very well. And so there are a bunch of issues. And I really hope they go back and through these bug fix weeks, I hope they take a look at Industrial Frontier and work on it. I think they, again, I don't want to assume what they're doing too much, but oh, there's a rabbit. ADHD. But you know, they did the latest animal update for Industrial Frontier, which is content. It's fine, whatever, but it's not what I would have liked. But you know, they're also doing oil spills, which is, you know, Industrial Frontier was big oil. That's when, you know, a lot of the infrastructure for oil came in. I know oil was a major update, but a lot of it was the infrastructure of Industrial Frontier. Thematically, it's out in the desert, you know, where you'd find oil. And so thematically it made sense, and so I'm hoping that they want to get back and work on Industrial Frontier a little bit. You know, it appears it is their least well-received DLC, and so it makes sense to me that they want to kind of get their DLC fixed. Okay, let's do something. I'm going to go no clip, and I want to see if this track switcher misbehaves as we get the locomotive past. Okay, so far it's behaving itself. I was curious if it was if it was switching it back after a certain time, or if the locomotive was actually triggering it to go back. I wasn't sure, so I wanted to check. Okay, let's hammer. All right, so we're about 60 miles an hour here. We're not doing a bad speed. All right. So let's let it go a little bit on its own here and see. Yeah, so it'd be nice if they come back and work a little bit on this. You know, I think it's awesome to have some great train stuff. I would love to be able to take the train up to the Iron Mountain or close to aluminum, and then take the train and do every step for the cell. Dump it at the Empire, convert it, and then dump it at Screech without ever having to switch to a truck, because I think that just makes it so that it's too much work for what it is. And as much as I'm doing more work, you know, again, you know, I don't believe in just doing the meta thing where it's always the highest, you know, profit per hour. I'd just be moving jet fuel the entire time. Jet fuel, jet fuel, jet fuel, jet fuel, jet. I would never do anything else. But, you know, I'm doing things that are, you know, fun to me. But I think by making them a little bit more streamlined, it makes it more likely that you can do that. Because, you know, you only have a certain amount of play time that you can play at a certain time. And so, you know, by making that more efficient. One thing we don't get is we don't get a real good sense of speed in game. And so, for example, we're doing almost 70 miles an hour right now. This looks like we're crawling, you know. But that's because runways are very wide, and the wider it is, the you know, you get some different perceptions. For example, if you're coming in and you're landing on an extremely wide runway, it looks like you're closer to the runway than you are, because you're used to what a standard, quote-unquote, standard runway width is, and as you're coming into land, it already looks really wide. So what happens is pilots will flare early, and so the same thing is as we're passing that runway, it looked like we were going slower than we were, because if we look at the road, we get a better perception of speed now, because the road is thin and narrow, and we can actually perceive that moving. That runway being very wide, we didn't get a good perception of motion with that runway. And so now, looking at that road, we get a better perception of motion. So that's kind of some things, you know, like I've landed at runways when I was doing training that, you know, I was in a single-engine Cessna, and the wingtips were sticking over the sides of the runway. It was incredibly narrow, and what happened was it felt like you're coming in incredibly fast, because you're used to the wide runway. So you have this narrow runway, you're coming in incredibly fast, and it feels like it feels like you're still high up off the runway. And so what people will often do is they'll flare too late, and they'll hit the runway hard, and they'll feel like they're coming in very, very fast. And if you have that wide runway, you flare early, and you feel like you're coming in very, very slow. And so these are all perceptions that are kind of cool, that your brain plays these tricks on you. And so, like, if we had scrub brush, which I know a lot of people have asked for, and I would say they don't put scrub brush in, the same reason they took away all the detailing on the bottom of the ocean floor is, you know, you have one group of people who are complaining about FPS problems, and you have another group complaining about there's not enough detail. And so, for example, with me, I have a good PC. I could probably handle the detail, but the people who don't have very good PCs, it would grind their system to a halt. I'm a big advocate for always just having a checkbox. I wouldn't mind if they put in some terrain detail, and guess what? You can turn it on and you can shut it off. They put in some detailing with the fish, and most people turned it off. And so it's kind of, as a lesson to them, they're kind of like, hey, put in all this fish detail and everybody turns it off. I have mine on, I think. I actually have it off right now. There's no content for it. If there was fishing, I would leave it on. But, so that kind of tells the devs, hey, people don't really care about this detail stuff. And so they might just say, hey, we're not going to bother spending our resources on detailing like scrub brush and this if a large portion or even the majority of the community is going to shut it off because they want better frames. And so you kind of have to understand that as it's a balancing act. And you see that in a lot of games where they'll cut down the detailing for more FPS, especially a lot of competitive shooters. Like Tarkov is beautiful, but you get a lot of people who they'll turn everything down in Tarkov because they want the best FPS. And so they will make their game look absolutely hideously ugly to achieve that. And so it's kind of a balancing act. So, there's no right answer on it. It's kind of personalized. And I'm always a fan of just putting in a checkbox. But, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and I will time-lapse you guys out for a little bit. And I will see you in a bit. Alright, so we're starting to get close here to the Sawyer North. And so, coming up here, I think we have one more turn to go. Uneventful. I didn't run into any issues at all. I think, potentially some of the issues people have been having have been going too fast. I'm doing about 66, probably 68 miles an hour, no problems. So, often think it might be a speed issue that some people are having, but mine are working fine. I did shut off vehicle damage, so I highly recommend that anyway when you're running a train. I know some people are hitting the ground, but if you shut the vehicle damage off, I would recommend that for the trains. IRL, they're building the tracks on the train to interact with one another fine, and so you shouldn't be hitting things. And so if you are hitting bad collisions on the map, if you shut vehicle damage off, that's helping. I haven't had any derail issues. I haven't had any hard stops or hit any collidable objects, so I haven't had any issues with that. That could be on different routes, but I haven't had any issues with that. So personally, I like to shut the vehicle damage off when I'm going on the tracks, just because you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere. You derail, it's going to be a big nightmare. And, you can still derail even with vehicle damage off, but it's going to make it so that it's not an unrealistic issue where you hit a little bump and it causes problems. So I would recommend that. Alright, so I should be going to the left here when we come up here. And so I'm just kind of looking for that as we come up. I think this is my track switch here. I'm just keeping an eye on it, see if I need to switch it. Alright, looks like we're on the correct track anyway. Alright, good. So we should be pulling right in here to Sawyer North. I think that was Military Island up there that we just saw. But it's been a nice little relaxing journey up there. Yep, there's Military right there. It is, nice to get on trains for a little while. I haven't been in trains in a while. It's definitely, I think, much more attractive up here at the Sawyer Islands. Quite potentially some of this has expired. I'm not sure, so we'll see if these have expired. If they have, it's not the end of the world. I don't really care too much. It's we can grab ones that are not close to expiry in the future, but part of this is just testing out the train, giving it a run, see the viability of it. It's another fun thing to do. I'm enjoying it, so kind of nice to get into something different. So pulling in here to Sawyer North. We're going to buy Sawyer North. That was on the to-do list, so had about $258,000, which sounds like a good bit of money. One thing we really don't want to do that sometimes will inadvertently do is if you get too far ahead of yourself and you start buying, you start losing that seed capital you need to be able to purchase vehicles and commodities. So for example, if let that money get down to 50 grand, we might not be able to launch certain vehicles we need to use, and so I definitely wanted to go make some money before I bought any more bases. So let's go ahead here. It doesn't really matter what track we're on. We're going to go ahead and slow down. Okay, it's going left. That's where I want to go. Let's start slowing down here. Right. And I can hit the 0 if I need to, so. But we're slowing down pretty quickly here, as you can see. And there's the 0. And perfect. So that put the two locos in the barn here. And the container cars are outside. I'm pretty sure it launches on this left side anyway. As you can see, it has these bollards, which everybody hates. But the bollards are on this side, so we should be able to launch it. And so I did not get a completion, so the likelihood is I have to move them closer. That one's 20. Okay, they're still showing plenty of time. So let's go ahead and we'll save up. Always a smart thing to do is to save up. And we'll go grab the container shifter and we'll quickly unload and try to dump these. I need to buy the property that was on the to-do list. Where are you at here? It's way over here, so I'm just gonna no clip. And so not a ton of money, 60 grand. That's not bad for this. This has, you know, land, vehicles, train, and sea for 60 grand. That's pretty reasonable. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll put this container down. It looks like we got paid for all of them. And so this was fun. I enjoyed doing this. There's a little something different. Get the old locomotive out. Bought Sawyer North. Made a little bit of money here. Not a huge amount, but not bad either. It was probably in the neighborhood of 40 grand. Probably a little less than that, you know, maybe 30 grand. And so that's not too bad. That's a good bit of money to come up here. It was nice and relaxing. You know, like I said, I like the more engaged gameplay where I'm operating the machine. I'm an equipment operator. I've been an equipment operator my whole life. That's what I enjoy most. But it was nice sitting in the train and just kind of relaxing. Really cool scenery coming up here. Got a bunch of good screenshots. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. So we have another base. This will allow us to do a bunch of cool stuff. Allow us to spawn things for missions here. And so I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one.